You can turn off your camera, and that's one way of doing it. You also have abilities to change your name as well. So that's a way if you'd like to keep anonymity for whatever your reason may be. We also, at the end, we'll be doing a group photo, but we'll let you know about that. Keeping cameras on is totally recommended because I do not enjoy speaking to a random screen. If I did, I wouldn't be here. So give me that emotional feedback that I need. That also being said, you also have a chance to go to the bottom of your screen and open the chat. In the chat, you can either speak to everybody or you can change it right at the top, kind of next to the name, and change it to messaging someone privately. However, I feel like all of us are at the age and at the point of this pandemic where we already know how to use Zoom and could all be paid in explaining how to use it. So that being said, there you are, and welcome again. So just to let you know all the fun stuff we have going on, we are going to be having some speeches, some fundraising, some wonderful performances, some reminiscing of the beautiful past, back when we could hug people, dance with them, get a little closer, or be like, whoa, you're too close. That still happened back then too. And we also have special guests joining in to listen in. So just so much going on. For some of you that may not know me, because I think I'm well known, but who knows? I am Vicky or Victoria Rivera, class of 2011, from this ancient degree called biology neuroscience. Back then, that was a thing. There you go. So that was a good time of my life. And I mean, when I think back on Jacobs, and I hope that you get these moments as you hang out here today, you remember the beautifulness of going out on a Saturday night to Hamburg and not coming back till Sunday morning. Perhaps you stayed asleep on the train and had a few trips between Hamburg and Bremen. That was a possibility. Perhaps you remember H3 parties. Maybe those don't happen anymore. We'll find out. That was a good time. The other side bar, which has changed a little bit since my day, you know, conveniently right next to a daycare because we're chill, we're progressive. That's how we are. Also remembering back on how inspiration was and is a place that we call Jacobs University, where you too can study science and be the next entrepreneur in some artistic realm, where you also can be an expert in electrical engineering, but major in English. There's so many options and so many things we can do. And just thinking about that, Jacobs kind of has messed up my life, but in the most positive way. My bar is set ridiculously high. I no longer can just date any regular person. No, they too have to care about something important in the world. They probably have to have had at least 5 startups, one of which has to have been successful. And you know what? They probably also need to have like some side hustle just because they can. That's one bit. I also have gone from unloading trucks to teaching ballroom dancing to now getting my degree in veterinary medicine because, you know, why not? And I'm not even kidding. That's why I joined. Most people are like, I wanted to save this animal. I'm like, I think I could do that. And that's where I'm at. So I hope you too made it there. And my ultimate goal for all of us is to one day become that mysterious thing, the consultant, where you just consult. I still am not 100% sure what a consultant does, what they do. I think they talk a lot. I've got that down. And I've also decided I could consult on your next mid-year breakdown, how to choose a perfect therapist, how you too can just work out while not working out. You know, all these great things. And every once in a while, just meditating. I can consult on that too. Let's meditate on the sun hitting our face. The fact that we've got bills to pay. I don't know. So many options. And I hope that today is as inspiring as I hope as it should be. And that line didn't make any sense. But you know what? That's okay. I consult on English language as well. There you go. So big things, big goals. I know that everybody misses everyone. Please make sure you make use of the side chat bar, and you actually participate, join in, private message people, connect again, because reconnecting is important. And I'm just really happy to see all your beautiful faces. And because I know when I start rambling, I'm going to stop right here and move us into our first section in our wonderful homecoming, the Jacobs Alumni Weekend main event. Well, this isn't just the main event, but first things first will be our president, current president, Antonio Loprieno. He is going to share a few words with you now on Jacobs and many wonderful things. Mr. Loprieno.
Thank you very much, Vicky. President Rustler, past President Falting, past University President Troisch, and so many friends from the Jacobs Foundation of America, and you all, dear alumni. Welcome to this homecoming. It is a great pleasure to welcome you to this main event that is somewhat different from what we are used to. The pandemic has made all of us kind of digital hybrids. And although nothing compares to the experience of meeting old friends in person, I have no doubt that the last few days were filled with a lot of catching up, laughter, and emotional moments for you, especially during the major reunions. Milestones like a homecoming go hand in hand with a touch of nostalgia. We know it. It's in the nature of things. They awake memories. They transport us back to a very exciting chapter of our lives when we were young. Well, you are still young. I am not young any longer. But when we were eager to find our path in this world. And I'm sure that you all still remember the sense of fresh beginning and endless possibilities that was lingering in the air when you first came to campus. Or the first time you met your fellow Jacobians and the joy, pride, and bittersweet feeling you felt on graduation day when you had to say goodbye to each other and to the place that had become your home. The home away from home, as we call it, and as we called it particularly during the last months of pandemic. We are happy that you all have stayed in contact to each other and to us. Especially times like these show that the relationships, networks, and friendships we have are of the utmost importance and that we should never take them for granted. Jacobs University is a place not like any other, we know that. It's a place where people from all over the world teach and study, ask questions and give answer, imagine and create. But above all, Jacobs University, your alma mater, as one says in Latin, is the place where you form the basis for your bright future, for yourself, and you learn the importance of working on projects that could have a positive impact on the world as a whole. This ideal of committing yourself to projects that are bigger than yourselves is to a certain extent ingrained into the DNA of any university, but of ours in particular, because of our global vocation and because of our international character. One of the most important developments for which the whole university is very grateful is the increasing cooperation with you as alumni community. You are the most important ambassadors we as university have, and our prospective as well as our current students highly appreciate your sharing your experiences with them at events like Career Fair or Jacobs Career Symposium or graduation. Through the Alumni Mentoring Program, you give them guidance for their professional future. And you also help shaping the future of our university. The Alumni Association input to the strategy process, which is still ongoing, is of invaluable nature. It has become a beloved tradition that our alumni raise funds to award the Alumni Scholarship every year. We highly appreciate this initiative, and I wholeheartedly encourage you to participate in it. Enabling talented young minds who lack the means to finance their own studies, to walk in your footsteps and to be a member of the Jacobs community is a wonderful commitment, and we are looking forward to welcoming this year's Alumni Scholarship awardee to our diverse community. Dear alumni, we are all committed and enthusiastic about maintaining and fostering long-lasting connections with each and every one of you. Enjoy your digital homecoming and all the best for your future endeavors, maybe the academic or in your life as a whole. All the best.
Thank you so much, Professor Loprieno. Again, everybody, jazz fingers, yes. That was a wonderful, wonderful speech that you've given us, sir. And just so you all know, some of us, or many of us, may not actually personally know Professor Loprieno, and he is a very accomplished man. He's studied Egyptology, linguistics, Semitic studies, all from the University of Turin in Italy, which is like beautiful location, very interesting subjects. And that's just one of many things that he's done and accomplished. So definitely, I think, take time to get to know him a little better because A, accomplished, B, is in charge of our school. And you know what? If you want to learn more and actually participate more tomorrow at the GA, so our General Assembly, he will again be speaking more about Jacobs. So like everything, and being myself a person of American citizenship and understanding when things start to change, and thankfully Jacobs is not necessarily going in a negative direction, it is very important to make your voice heard and to know what's going on. So I do recommend everybody, please attend the GA if you're able to do so. And that's just one way to practice, you know, the rights that everybody has, I hope, in their countries of, you know, sharing their feelings on how things should go. And because Jacobs is so important to us, you should continue doing that. But once again, spirit fingers, there you go, for Professor Loprieno. And next up, I would like to let you guys know we're going to have the beautiful, amazing Miss Nouria. And she is going to be telling us a little bit more about our alumni scholarship. So spirit finger it up for Nouria.
All right, quick tech check. Can everyone hear me? Wonderful. All right, thanks Vicky for the introduction. Also from my side, big welcome to our first digital homecoming event. For those of you that might not know me yet, I'm Nouria and I graduated as part of the class of 2018 from the Earth and Environmental Sciences program. And since late last year, I've been on the alumni board in charge of fundraising. And one of those major tasks basically of mine is then, as it's already been teased a little bit, taking care of the Alumni Association scholarship. And on that front, a lot has actually changed in the last 6 to 7 months. So for those of you that might not know the way it worked before, I've prepared a little bit of an introduction. And all right, here we go. So the way the Alumni Scholarship worked before is that we as an association basically provide a certain amount of funds, and these funds are then attributed to an incoming student's financial package. Until now, the Alumni Scholarship was counted towards the grant portion of a student's financial aid package. So just to make it super clear real quick, the way the financial aid package of a student works is you have the grant portion, which does not have to be paid back. You can get a tuition postponement, which does have to be paid back at some point after you finish studying and start working. And you have the so-called EFC, which is the expected family contribution. Now the EFC is the part of the financial package that has to be paid by a student. So it's basically the minimum amount of funds that a student has to provide. And until now, our alumni scholarship was counted towards the grant portion. So this did not change the EFC that a student actually had to pay when being at Jacobs. What we've done now is we've worked together with the fundraising department of Jacobs, Student Financial Services. We've set up an internal work group in the Alumni Association board. And the way this has changed now is that the funds that we're providing count directly towards a student's expected family contribution. So just to put it in numbers as an example, the current EFC is 8,000 euros a year. And we are providing a scholarship over 9,000 euros over the 3 years of study. And that means that every single year, a student will have to pay 3,000 euros less for the EFC. So this is really a tangible difference that this new system is making. And with this, we're hoping to have a lot more direct impact on a student's studies and financial situation at Jacobs. And that being said, this year is the first year that we've managed to award scholarships with this new system. And it's also the first year that we've managed to award 2 scholarships in the same year. So our 2 awardees are Eleda Gunnar from Turkey and Rupa Yawar from Pakistan. And Eleda has sent us a little video where she introduces herself. So I will just play this for you and hope the volume turns out fine.
Hello, I would like to give you a warm welcome from my home country, Turkey. I am Eleda Gunnar and I am a recipient of this year's Alumni Scholarship Award. I wish we were able to meet in person, but due to unfortunate circumstances, this is the next best thing we have. I'm studying computer science with a minor in global economics and management, and to be chosen for this award, I was asked to write what would my year would say if I were to read it in 3 years. As I wrote for my essay, I am hoping to be part of many events happening on our lively campus, such as the Women's International Leadership Conference, the Amnesty Club, and so on. Also, I am really excited to support my college mates during the sport events and also open a printed newspaper called the Jacobs Daily News. I was overjoyed to be chosen as an awardee to the Alumni Scholarship, and I would like to thank you all for your contributions. I wish all of you a great homecoming.
All right. Our next awardee has not been able to send us a video or dial in live, but this is Ruba, and she intends to major in BCCB and minor in IMS. And she's the 2nd recipient for this year, and she'll be joining the Jacobs class of 2021 in the spring. And now that brings us then to how we can join the effort on providing the next round of scholarships, basically. And for this, we've prepared a small video for this year's art auction. All right, so as we've already mentioned, we will again have an art auction this year. It's worked really well in the past, and for our art auction this year, we've again received absolutely beautiful art donations by the Jacobs community. And we have for this a website that we set up, which I will take you to right this second. All right. So the way this works is that on this page, we have not just the artworks, but also short introductory videos by the artists, where they talk a little bit about what inspired them, what the artwork is about. And these beautiful artworks are donation incentives, basically. And the way you can participate in this auction is that you can either donate normally, in quotes, via just clicking on the PayPal button. And if you would like your donation to count as a bid for an artwork, please put in the subject line which artwork you're interested in. And if your donation happens to be the highest and you were interested in this artwork, you will be awarded the artwork at the end of the event, when we also announce who the auction winners, in quotes, are. Another really cool thing that we've set up together with Jacobs alumni from many years ago is the Spendau website. So Spendau was founded by a couple of Jacobs alumni from the very early classes, and it works in a manner that's very similar to Amazon Smile. So if you do your online shopping with companies that have agreed to donate a part of the shopping price to an organization of choice. So we as the Jacobs Alumni Association are represented on this website, and for this year's homecoming, we've started the Alumni Scholarship Support page, where basically if you donate €1 per month, or in this case, a one-time donation of €12 per year, we're hoping to collect a lot of funds for the next year's scholarship round. So we'll be sharing both of these links again in the chat, and I hope that you'll find some amazing artwork, and let's together make sure that we can provide scholarships again for the next year, and perhaps also award 2 scholarships at the same time again. And so with that, without further ado, we'll post the links and I will hand off back to Vicky. Thank you very much.
Thank you again so much, Nouria. So again, everybody, please be given, open your hearts and your wallets towards such a great cause. Just so you know, when you go to the website also, there is posted videos from each of the artists explaining their art. So that is a great way to know a bit more about the art piece itself, which is always a wonderful thing to do. You can just donate, be amazing, help support something great, because I, as currently a ward of the state with educational loans, understand the importance of scholarships and grants. So please share one of the best feelings, which is a lower number showing up when you got to pay, with other students so they can enjoy the amazingness that is Jacobs without so much stress. So I said a lot of amazing things on mute, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Wonderful. Okay, let's try that again. We're all human. So on the art website, you can find videos from the artists mentioning what their art piece is about. Please take a moment to look at that, whether before or after you bid, because then you know about the artist, and they worked so hard on this that it is wonderful to be able to know who put in the time to do this for us, because art ain't easy. Let me just say that. I've tried. That also being said, donate, open your hearts and your wallets. I as well am a ward of this state when it comes to my educational loans. And I'll tell you what, any little bit helps so much. And let's help the future generation enjoy what we got to enjoy as well. Now, that being said, next up, we're going to have a musical performance. This performance is going to be from one of our own. Surprise, surprise. Owen Gurrey. I apologize to anybody if I've ever messed up their name. You can correct me later. Now, Owen would like me to share with you the fact that he's going to be playing a great song called Your Song by Elton John. And it's something that he recommends everybody sing along with, not necessarily with your mics on, but at home. It'd be lovely to see you jamming it out, because you know what? As a performer, nothing gets us going more than seeing the audience, when we're not able to hear them, going crazy and wild, because that's amazing. Now, that being said, Owen is a very accomplished and talented guy. That's something you're going to hear a lot from me today, because we all are amazing. And he has also created an album with his brother, and it's called Halves. And he and his brother go by the name of Hi-Fi Richard. This album was released 2 years ago, and it's a project that he really wanted to do before he began his PhD in Sheffield, and he was able to accomplish that. And there is actually a link that I will share with you in the chat while you enjoy this song. But right now, instead of doing spirit fingers, let's switch it up and just do a really emphatic clap. I'm not clapping because I'm not going to hurt your ears with that, but just do one of these big ones for Owen Gurrey and his amazing performance. Woo!
Thanks, Vicky. Thanks very much. I hope you can all hear me. It's really, really nice to be here and see some of you on these tiny little screens in this brave new world that we're all living in. Yeah, thanks for a great introduction. And I won't say too much. I'll just get into it. I picked this song because I think it's very popular, and you may want to have a little sing-along. If you want to get the lyrics, you can Google them, or if you know it already. Anyway, without further ado, this is Your Song by Elton John. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both can live. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who makes potions in a traveling show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I sat on the roof and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, they've got me quite cross, but the sun's been quite kind while I wrote this song. It's for people like you that keep it turned on. So excuse me for getting, but these things I do, you see, I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue. Anyway, the thing is, what I really mean, yours are the sweetest eyes I've ever seen. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I hope you don't mind, that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, Owen, quick question before you go.
Go
Why did you go into a PhD? Why didn't, boy, seriously. Also, where were you between 2008 and 2011? I'm just saying.
2008 and 2011, they were pretty hazy years in my life, actually.
Okay. Well, Sheffield's not that far, so we should meet up. Just saying. Just make it a little weird.
Definitely should. I love the Edinburgh, the castle in the background. That looks great.
Okay. Just so everybody knows, this is not a flex or anything. This is a view from my apartment that I took a while ago. And this is what it looks like today, which is a big deal because Edinburgh usually is gray. Like imagine reading Sherlock Holmes and all of that, because they're set in the UK. And you always think it's really dark and foggy. That is Edinburgh, except for today. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had to share. There
Definitely. You go. Take advantage.
Now, Owen, I hope you have your chat open because everybody is just oh my gosh, freaking out because that was a beautiful performance. It was amazing. And do you take any job requests for events, weddings? A lot of people seem to be getting married lately.
They do. I did a few weddings in Germany last summer and the summer before. I had a lot of weddings cancelled this summer, which was a real shame. And some of those have been postponed for next year. And I also teach guitar, and some of them have gone online, but some people prefer it face to face, and I understand that. But yeah, just hit me up if you want a Zoom performance, or you want me to fly in somewhere and give you some music, or play as you walk down the aisle. I'd be more than happy to do that. I do actually have a wedding set list, so.
Well, you heard it here, everybody. Get ready. I'm sure he won't judge if you just need some slow jams for just like slowly crying in the corner if you have an exam. Or you know what? The pandemic got to you and you just need something to just hit that feel. But you know who to hit up now for that. And thank you again, Owen. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Now, while you guys are reeling from that amazing performance, remember, we have more. So don't use all your emotions up now. And next up, I do want to hand it over to Albana, but before we do that, I just want to really quick, preemptively and right after, give thank you to all of our performers today and all of our contributors, because as you know, setting up things like this, especially last minute, is not easy. So it's lovely that we have such a wonderful group helping us make this event happen and make it be as amazing as it is so far and as it will continue to be. Also want to thank our ARO, which if you're not sure, that's our Alumni Relations Office. So woo woo to them. That includes Pedrag, Toka, and Daisy for helping us. Our fundraising group, the Student Financial Services that helped very much for supporting the scholarship setup, Professor Loprieno, our speaker coming up very soon, so get ready for that, Mr. Benjamin Delahaye, and all our external guests and donors. And as you know, also get ready because there's more videos coming up, and that's a big thank you to Rajesh Naik. Also, again, apologies to anybody if I messed up your name, but for his work on the on-site shoots and for producing and editing all of our videos for this event. So again, big fingers, emphatic round of applause for all of these wonderful people putting it together. And so that being said, we're going to move it on to the beautiful, amazing Albana, who is going to tell us a bit more from our alumni around the world.
Thank you, Vicky. So I'm just a messenger this time. I'm gonna be sharing a video exactly put together by Rajesh, and thanks to everybody who sent us an update from around the world and said their hello from around the world. And that being said, I'm just gonna share with you and enjoy.
Hi, my name is Chibs Jajawachuku, class of 2005, electrical engineering and computer science. I'm currently in Copenhagen, Denmark. Been living here for the last 9 years, living and working here. I work in the finance industry as a software engineer. Sending my warmest regards to everyone, and stay safe in these corona times, and peace and love to all Jacobs alumni.
Hola, my Jacobs family. Can't believe it's been 10 years since I left the magic of the bubble. I hope everyone's well and healthy. I myself, I'm still in the field of higher education, working with students all around the world. And the last 5 months has actually been the biggest shift in my entire career and industry. We're still learning every day. We're still pivoting every day. We're still finding new roads every day. And somehow that is exhausting, but also the challenge of being creative and innovative has been a breath of fresh air that actually this industry needed as well. So that being said, I have no idea where our paths lead us. Actually, none of us do. But I have learned to listen and to be open to others, and that has led me to the best, most innovative solutions, the most creative ones as well, and the ones that have been able to connect us with people and students and parents all around the world. So with that being said, I hope everyone's well, missing everyone, and hope to see everyone very soon.
Hey, it's Ivan, class of 2010, physics major.
And Ingmar, also class 2010, lazy logistics major.
13 years later, 10, we're still flatmates.
Still flatmates, but as you can see, the views are slightly better than back at Mercator first floor.
Yeah, stay safe and happy homecoming.
Cheers from Dubai.
Hi everyone, this is Shweta here. I graduated as part of the logistics major back in 2010. I stayed back at Jacobs to also do my master's, so I finished in 2012 and I moved back to India. I've been living here since. I've been working in the education sector. It's been a really interesting, exciting 8 years. Currently I live in Bangalore. Unfortunately, we all can't be there together for homecoming, but hopefully we'll be able to do this next year. And if any of you come to India, know that you have a place to stay at. Take care.
Hi, my name is Carla Blacker. I graduated from Jacobs in 2011 and I studied ISS. I'm in Washington, D.C. right now as the correspondent for Deutsche Welle, Germany's international broadcaster. And it's definitely a crazy time to cover U.S. politics, but Jacobs has prepared me for these long days and nights really well.
Greetings from London. This is Philip, alumnus 2012. I hope you're all well. Short update from my side is I'm still teaching as a science teacher at a secondary school. I'm also doing gardening with students as well as teaching psychology. And I am about to launch a prototype of my startup, which is it's called ZenTeach, and it's a formative assessment tool for teachers, which helps them evaluate knowledge gaps within their student knowledge. And I'm also getting into facilitation work, which involves bringing students into nature and exploring themselves and others in that environment. Take care. All the best.
Hey, I'm Stefan Russler, class of 2012 physics. I'm currently in Thailand concluding a 1.5-year sabbatical where I discovered my motherland and also joined a Thai AI consultancy, Siametrics, where we advised the Thai government on air pollution, road safety, accessibility of healthcare, and commute time. So very meaningful topics. I also founded the Data Science Beach Camp, which is unfortunately quite affected by COVID. What's next? I'm actually going back to Switzerland and hope to reconnect with many of you there. Until then, very warm greetings from Bangkok.
Hello, my name is Magali Ramos from the class of 2013. I studied integrated social sciences, and right after these I did my master's at the London School of Economics in social policy and development. Currently I work in the Ministry of Education of Ecuador, the country where I am from and where I live. I am the Undersecretary for Teachers Professional Development and Training.
Hello everyone, I'm Saad from class of 2014, and since graduation I've gone on to live in 3 different cities and started 2 companies, one in the fitness sector and the second in the last mile. But still, the funny thing is that the closest people to me are the people that I've either met in Jacobs or the ones who are from Jacobs but I've met afterwards. So there is definitely a special bond that you create with people from Jacobs. And what I just want to say is that if any of you is in Hamburg or passionate about building new things, then would love to connect, and happy homecoming.
Hey Jacobs, this is Nick Reich. I studied Gen and was part of the 2014 graduation class, in addition to being one of the very first foundation year students at Jacobs. Since then I've kind of worked in basketball. I worked at UCLA, the Dallas Wings, which is women's professional, in the WNBA, and then the German national team, which I was hoping to go to the Olympics this year, but like a lot of things, it fell through because of Corona. But other than that, I work for the New York Knicks, the Chicago Bulls, and now I work for the Utah Jazz. So that's where I'm saying hi from, guys. Salt Lake City, Utah. Hope that I can make it out to Bremen one of these days for one of these reunions. Have fun, guys. Bye.
Wow. Just wow. All I gotta say. So you can see all the amazing things we've been up to. And I'm sure some of you have probably written down like, oh yeah, here's my next thing. And I bet you're a little bit jealous that you didn't write in what amazing things you're doing or video in. But you know what? That's okay. And you know what's important? I'm sure you had the same feels I had where it's like, oh my gosh, I want to stay in touch. I know that as I was going through, I was watching people and seeing who's there. Shout out to people that I remember, and no offense to those that I don't, but to be fair, if I don't, I didn't probably meet you. So shout out to Anna Valtink. Yeah, hey girl. Woo woo. Liz Zeller, Shweta, Audon, Vlad Perlman. Boy, I saw you out there. You guys are like wonderful, and you add memories. And you know what? We can make new memories. A good way to do that too. Look out for your alumni groups. There are many alumni groups, usually based in different cities, that you guys can stay in touch with, and always stay in touch. You know, those are amazing things going on. Now, we've had a lot going on. I do want to give a bit of reminder, just so you know, we have going on, for those of you that might have just joined us, we will be recording parts of this. If you don't want to be recorded, just turn your camera off. However, if you have no issue with that, please keep it on, because we all love seeing people, because I tell you what, I don't like talking just to a blank screen. That's kind of boring. That also being said, we have donations going on for our scholarships. And these scholarships really help new students coming in. A big change that's happened, if you didn't hear, is that the money goes towards the expected family contribution, which is a huge deal for so many people. So please donate. The way you can do that, there is a link within the chat. I'm going to ask that our tech people kind of resend it through the chat so people who have just joined can see it easily. You can go into the link. There are art pieces in there with videos from the people who made them. You can find out about it, and you can actually bid on these. If you are bidding for an art piece, the way this works is when you're going to check out, there's going to be a little section that asks you for the number. Make sure that you put in the number for that art piece, or else we will not know which one you would like. And that's going to make it a little difficult. That also being said, if you don't really want an art piece, that's okay. You can still donate, because the way this is working as well is you put in your donation, and the highest donation that has a specific art piece marked to it will be the one that wins that art piece. So that being said, if I say I'm going to donate $2 million, I dream big, guys. And then I'm going to donate $2 million to art piece number 56. Then if art piece number 56 comes up and I'm the highest bid at $2 million, guess what? I got it. But if I don't get it and the highest bid was $3 million, guess what? I still gave the university $2 million. So that's how that's working. If you have questions, do send it in the chat to our tech people. They can go ahead and answer any question you might have, but that's how that's working. Now, again, the money that is being brought in from this fundraiser is for our scholarship. And because we have our scholarship, and that's so important, I wanted to go ahead and introduce the beautiful Meisan. And Meisan, if I've messed up your name, I do apologize, but I'd like to call her up so that she can go ahead and tell us what it's been like to receive the scholarship and kind of what that's meant to her. So Meisan, take it over, girl. You got this.
Hey, no, you didn't mess up my name. That was the right way to say it. So hello, everyone. I hope you're doing okay with everything that's happening, and I hope you're having a great time. My name is Meisan. I'm an IBA major, class of 2022, and also the Alumni Scholarship recipient for last year. So yeah, it's been a year. Wow. But yeah, like receiving the Alumni Scholarship meant really, really a lot to me. So like, besides, like, it allowed me to come here, and besides the fact that I really wanted to come here for like academic reasons, and the fact that it's a really, really good university, I feel like Jacobs is mostly about the experience, because as everyone is saying from the beginning, like, you can find multiple nationalities here. And I feel like it's a small bubble where you have like small parts of the world, and it makes you like learn and grow a lot. I've been like confronted to situations that I've never like thought about before, and like it's made me like learn so much. So I'm really happy to be in that position right now. And so far, like, my experience at Jacobs is going very, very well. I found my way out of everything, found the major that I really like, and found the activities that I really want to do. And I actually want to thank the people from the Alumni Association for their support, because they have been here like all the time, especially in the beginning. So hi, Christian, Daisy, and Toka. And it's also the fact that I found in them like a family away from home, which also led to Daisy being my host family right now. So like they have been there in like so many ways, like helping me throughout everything, either academically or life matters or whatever. I'll just go to them, knock on their door and be like, what's up? How can we help you? So I really, really want to say thank you for that. And I'm really, really happy to see that our other people are getting the same treatment. So yeah, whatever, I think I'm done. So yeah, enjoy your homecoming and take care of yourself. And I'm really, really happy to see you all again. Hi, Anne. Hi, Stefan. And take care so much. And bye.
Again, thank you so much, Meisan, for sharing your wonderful experience. It's not always that we have a chance to hear back, especially live, from a scholarship recipient. I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm back. So I just wanted to let you guys know as well. Please, while you're here too, if you have questions on how this works, because sometimes we're like, how do these scholarships work? What else is going on? If you have questions, I'm sure Meisan would be happy to answer. And if not, she seems like a strong woman that would be okay with being like, no, not right now. But feel free to chat to her and message her and get to know people, make new friends, everybody, because lockdown is rough. That being said, next up, we're going to have our updates from campus. So this is going to share different campus aspects going on from students. So that way, those of us who weren't, well, I mean, all of us weren't necessarily able to show up, but we can see what's going on and compare in our minds yesteryear with nowadays. And that way we can do one of those classic, in my day, we used to walk to H3 and party over there and make sure we were okay enough to make it down the metal stairs in winter when they were covered with water. That's fine. Also, quick reminder, can all of you that remember our wonderful security, like campus porter, who always dressed up with the theme for any party when he was working H3, raise your hand. That man was a legend. For those of you that don't remember, we had a porter, and I hope he's still there. And if not, that he's doing something bigger and better and amazing, because he was a legend. Legit would ask us what party we were hosting. It could be Halloween. It could be our White Sensation party, which was like techno based, all that stuff. And he would dress up in his all white suit so that he also glowed with us. He went as, I think it was, I'm not a Star Wars fan, but like Darth Maul. Was that the guy? Point is, he had full face makeup. It looked so professional, better than anything we came up with, and we had all day to do it. And he was just there being an amazing porter. So again, shout out to my man. If anybody remembers his name, please send it to me, because he was amazing. That being said, last reminder before we get into these wonderful videos about updates on campus, for our auction, which again goes to support our scholarships and everything, that will be closing after, I believe, our music performance. Let me double check that for you guys. So after our next music performance, which I believe is by Pablo, I will be introducing that shortly. We will, yes, correct. After Pablo's music performance, that will be the end of our, wow, my brain went blank. Our auction. There we go. Making money for good causes. So make sure you get on that link. Make sure you donate money, because that's very important. You know, legacies, all those wonderful things. So that will be happening in closing after our next music performance. There we go. But without further ado, again, emphatic claps for Albana, who will be playing our campus updates. Woo, girl, get it.
2, 1. So for the challenges, I think I lost the word.
What's up, alumni? I'm Larissa. I'm from Mozambique and I'm a current third-year student on campus for my last year. Things are looking good. The weather, not so great, but we're making the most out of it. This is campus right now. I'm on the basketball court with the basketball captains, basketball coach. What's up, guys?
What's up? Yo, coming 2020.
Game plan for 2020?
We're gonna get first in the division and hopefully make it to the first division in the next league. Our coach Momo is training us, captain and vice captain Felix.
Yeah, we're gonna take us all the way this time.
Love to see it.
Homecoming 2020.
The life of a TA. As a TA, someone called you Miss Martinez?
Yeah, someone called me Dear Miss Martinez. I'm like, do you think I'm an old person? I'm probably your age. Hi guys. What are you up to?
We're having an online class.
Yeah, this is an interesting comment. I was also
It's going good.
wondering how
Yeah.
would I use that if I
Fun.
was doing research
It's
on
an
the
online
American
class, so we're
Revolution.
just all trying to have a good time.
It is an interpretation
Nice,
of
love it.
what
Yeah.
technically
Hey, my name is Tara. I'm a third-year BCCB student, and I thought I would share with you guys a little bit of how my daily life looks like at Jacobs these days. And yeah, so I'm gonna start by going to the lab, and hopefully I'll make it to the gym later afterwards. Yeah, I'm working in the microbiology lab, which I also worked at over the summer, because the internship that I ended up getting got cancelled due to the situation, but still I feel very lucky that my professors were kind enough to have me working here in the summer. So next I'm gonna be heading to the gym, and I'll tell you about it more there. So now I'm on my way to the gym. So currently we have an outdoor gym in front of the SCC because of corona regulations and some ventilation issues, we weren't able to open the indoor gym yet. So I'll show you around. Hey! It's my coworker, Wyan.
Hi, I'm Wyan. I'm from Malaysia. I'm a second-year student studying electrical and computer engineering.
Nice.
Welcome to Jacobs University's outdoor gym.
No matter the weather.
Yeah.
So yeah, how did the recreation center adjust to the COVID situation?
Right, so initially it was closed down, but now we've only limited the gym to 12 people. Look at that, being super safe, social distancing, I like that. You know, we moved everything outdoors here in the fresh air. You can breathe in the German air without having to worry about corona. Very nice.
Very nice.
Very
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you guys for joining my little day in the life moment. Had a lot of fun sharing with you guys. Now I'm just looking forward to having dinner in our beautiful socially distanced servery, but I still gotta wait a few more minutes for that. But yeah, thanks again. Bye.
Hello to alumni from around the world. My name is David Lewis, and I'm from Nigeria. I'm a global economics and management student. So I'd say life on campus is pretty chill. I think what changed during the summer is we had to wear like face masks and stuff all around. And so I run a clothing line, Luini, and what was cool about it was I was able to collaborate with the university to produce face masks. And so now we have like a couple of folks on campus who walk around with face masks. That's like pretty interesting.
Hey guys.
Hey.
So I have a question. How has COVID changed the way people dress around campus?
Who wants to go?
I think definitely being in quarantine has made people, want to be more comfortable, not used to going out too much. So I think people started dressing more for comfort. Still style, but comfort for sure.
Yeah, I think comfort, especially in the sense that, say, like, you don't go out much, you just want to, like, wear something, go get your food, come back. But I dress up, though, always.
He's always dressed.
I think for me what stood out was how sometimes people like accessorize their masks with their outfit. So like you'll have like maybe like black shoes and you specifically wear like a black mask, or like a pink mask to like match your pink hoodie or something like that. So yeah. Oh, she's a one-hand bicycle person. Okay, come. We're on our bicycles that we rented and we're gonna go for dinner. At Nord.
Vlog series, the golden hour, guys.
Having to wear a mask for over 3 hours in class, and plus with the glasses, the struggle is real, like it's all needless and stuff. Yeah.
So I was home for, like, inside my house for at least 3.5 months. Eating by, like, our tables are, like, thin and long, so only 2 people can sit. That's a little strange.
In El Salvador, the situation was kind of rougher than in Europe, so I couldn't go back to my country too.
And I think the hardest part for me was being able to see people from a distance but not really interact with them. So that was pretty hard.
It is like 2 a.m.
Okay. 3.
Homecoming 2020.
Hello, everybody. So this is a new fashion craze, as you can see, the wearing of a mask. Now, just a heads up for all of you. Congratulations to everybody who is participating. Now, that is wonderful, and I hope that Jacobs reminds you of amazing things. Now, just so you know, wearing a mask can be annoying, but let's make it fun. I personally like to imagine that I am in the most intense surgery of my life. Therefore, I must wear a mask. That being said, quick tips. If you wear glasses, apparently washing them with soap and water will keep them from fogging. Wear them on top of your mask, and that's less fog issue. Add a wire to the nose piece. That makes life easier. And like the kids said, and that sounds weird calling them kids, accessorize. Make it fun because it's on your face, just like glasses. There you go. So imagine you're having a great time. Now, that fun stuff being said, moving on to what is next, we have an amazing speaker for you guys. And this speaker has come to us to help tell us a little more about his take on education. And this speaker will be Mr. Benjamin Delahaye. Now, you might be thinking, who is this gentleman? Why do I want to listen to him? Well, let me tell you a little bit about him. He is the VP at Education First. He is going to be telling us about future-proofing education, But you know what else is part of his credentials? He's the head of academic at Education First, and he's responsible for all of the educational programs and new teaching technologies, which, as us, a big group of innovators, that is very helpful. That's something that we're like, you know what? Let's find out a little more about that. He's also studied filmmaking in Boston as his bachelor's, and he got an MBA at INSEAD. He is very passionate about stand-up comedy, which you know is a big deal at Jacobs, and it's something that I quite like myself, whether you find me funny or not. And that being said, public speaking and communication is also part of his passions. This wonderful gentleman grew up in France. He lives in Switzerland, and he did take a little detour into the US and the UK. So realistically speaking, how did he not make it to Jacobs until now? Because that sounds like so many of us. So while that's being said, and while you take that all in, I want you guys to emphatically clap for Mr. Benjamin Delahaye.
Thank you. Thank you, Vicky. What an intro. Really honored to be speaking here. I think you guys sound like a super fun community of alumni, very entrepreneurial as well, which is something that I love. And now I just learned that stand-up is a big thing at Jacobs University. So you're in my heart even a lot more. And really incredible. Like earlier, Vicky was mentioning that alumni donations for art pieces were $2 million, $3 million. And like you guys are doing pretty well, and you guys look all so young. So I don't know what you're doing at Jacobs University, but it's working. Keep doing it. Vicky, I also want to reassure you in the beginning, you said you're still not sure what consultants do. I've been in the professional world for 17 years and I still haven't figured it out. So don't worry, we're all good. And then Owen, wonderful player, singer, and you do wedding. It's almost like I want to get married again, just to have you, just to have you on this, just to listen to you. All right, so let's talk about what I'm supposed to talk to you about today. So I will share my screen in a second. No matter how much you rehearse it, you always get. Okay, so here we go. So future-proofing education, and I'm going to minimize this window so that it doesn't gray out the presentation. So usually, I don't know how many educators are on this call. I don't know if we have professors or you know, I know that the president of Jacobs University was on the call earlier. I don't know if he's still there. But whenever there is a talk about the future of education, educators tend to raise their eyebrows and do something like this, because there's been so many promises about how education was going to be transformed by technology, but so many roadblocks, and educators are, I think, a bit tired of hearing from that kind of talks. And if you look at YouTube and you look for the future of learning or the future of education, you will find dozens of talks on this topic. And who makes these talks usually? So usually it's companies who speak about the future of education. And just on the little clip that I just showed you, one video was made by Cisco, one video was made by Pocket Media Group, who authors educational content, and one video was made by Goldman Sachs. So as you can imagine, every company who posts a video or has a talk about future education is usually trying to sell you something. And you might wonder, okay, this guy works at EF. Is he going to tell us that the future of education is international and trying to sell us his language courses? No, that's not, that's not what I'm doing today. But hey, if you're looking for a language course abroad, you can call me. So companies talk about the future of education, and also idealists. Okay, so if you look on YouTube, you can find TED Talks about the future of education. One great and really hilarious talk by Sir Ken Robinson, who advocates teaching more creativity to children. And then the speaker on the right, Sugata Mitra, he advocates speaking about he advocates having more autonomy in the classroom. The problem is is that whenever, you know, these people, they put in place programs to make a point, to say, you know, I've done some research and it proves that I did this and it brings more outcome. But what they do is very difficult to scale. And that's one of the things with education, is that maybe you have one great guy who has found a superb way to teach children and students, but it's hard to make every teacher you know, go and teach like these people are doing. But when Sir Ken Robinson talks about creativity and Sugata Mitra about autonomy, these are things that we call 21st century skills. This is not a new idea. In fact, it's quite an old idea, or old in today's world. It's 10 to 15 years old. And these are the 21st century skills. And because of the pace at which the world is changing, 10, 15 years ago, educators said, we have to put 21st century skills in the, you know, in curriculum and everything. And the problem is, you know, this is a concept that's very Western. This is something that's, you know, it came out of America and in collaboration with Europe. Does every government in the world has a vested interest to teach critical thinking or creativity or media literacy? I'll let you answer that question. I am not. But there is, however, tremendous pressure on education. And I'm going to speak about these three things. There's, of course, the digital disruption. It is pressuring education like it's pressuring every sector in the world. Okay. So, you know, people are wondering, are we going to have digital tools, robots in the classroom and things like that? Sorry, I'll come back to it. Then there's a financing crisis in education. You know, whether you talk about North America or Europe, higher education is in a financing crisis. But at the same time, and very paradoxically, there's intense capitalization going on in investment in technology, in new technology for education, etc. And it's kind of like an internal conflict that's going on with education. So how is digital disruption pressuring education? So first of all, you know, pace of change, what to learn whenever, especially for tech curricula. You know, people often say that the things that you learn in a tech curricula today, when you graduate, it's not going to be relevant anymore. So what do we want to learn or to teach? Okay, and of course, new technologies, augmented reality, virtual reality, big data, Internet of Things, biotech, robotics. These are things that are impacting the entire world, and there's no reason why at some point it's not going to impact education as well. Now, are we going to see this? These are real pictures, but these are not real experiments. So on the left, it's a robot, an English teacher robot in Korea, but actually it was a bit staged. So it was more of a PR stunt because there was actually a live teacher answering for the robot. So we're not there yet. But robotics is already helping, you know, all the way from K-12 education from our young children. I know, for example, in Lausanne, there's like a lab for classroom technology, and they invented a robot that helps students to write. How? It's not, the robot is not making the teaching, but rather the robot is making a lot of mistakes when writing, and the kid has to say, no, you're doing it wrong. And so the kid is teaching the robot how to write, and this is how they learn to write better. And I'm sure you're convinced at Jakob University about active learning. You know, you said you're very entrepreneurial. It seemed to me, listening to you, that, you know, you spend a lot of time building projects, building companies and things like that. So you know that, you know, active learning is something that is efficient. But digital disruption has brought up a lot of buzzwords since the past 20 years. Personalization, gamification, flipped classroom, blended learning, MOOC. And educators today, when you give all these terms, they raise their eyebrows. They're like, yeah, okay. Because, and now I'm going to do devil's advocate. What technology has really made a difference in classroom education or in education in general? First of all, on the left, being able to join a teacher and and a class over the internet, that's something that really transformed distance learning education. And now in the past year, thank God we had made this progress, because otherwise we would have been unable as mankind to cope with this. We would have had to interrupt education for an entire year until things become normal again. So, and I used to, I'm going to seem old, but when I was a kid, distance learning, I was sending homework by mail to teachers, because my parents were mean and always had me do like summer homework, and I hated it. But that's, so that's been kind of like a big transformation. And then I would say that the only transformation that's really been scaled, meaning that it's been applied to, almost everywhere in K-12 schools, in higher education, and it's just to have a computer connected to a projector, connected to internet in the classroom, because that has helped teachers be a lot more flexible about the material that they project. They can do live internet searches but like, is this really the inspiration you wanted from a talk on the future of education, talking about the projector? There's been also some innovation in the distribution model of education. So for example, there's, and I'm sorry to cite a competitor university, but Open University in the UK has innovated a lot by allowing to have flexible learning experience, and you can have a full campus experience with residential campus, etc., or you can do everything online. And these serve different purposes. So actually, because I love tech so much, and I never studied engineering, I enrolled myself into a Bachelor of Engineering for Open University, because it just fits my needs. It's something, it's going to take some time. Instead of 3 years, it's going to take 6, and I do on the side. But it opens new markets for education. And then this is something that I don't know if you have seen, but Google is about to launch career certificates. And they haven't launched it yet, but you can sign up to get the, to get the news when it's out. And, so maybe this is not recognized by a state, but if it's recognized by Google, then it has some value. Okay, so even Google now is about to make some disruption in the distribution of education. So it's not like there's been nothing at all. But another thing that will pressure education to make some changes is that, in Europe, we see a public debt crisis for many years, and it's not going to get better with the Corona plan. So governments will really ask themselves how to finance all of these public universities and how to make it happen. And then in the US, we're talking about a student loan crisis. This is an article from this year talking about a $1.6 trillion student loan crisis. And then Financial Times is being very pessimistic about finances of states in the future, and that will have an impact on education. So maybe not private education, but definitely public universities. And I would say that with Corona, people have followed classes online, so it's not, it's not as good. But maybe we don't need a 3-year residential experience or 4 years residential experience. Maybe there's something in between, and this is something, that I would talk about. Now, paradoxically, in private education, there's some very intense capitalization. Why? Because it's the gold rush. Okay, so everybody, like, I still believe, I joked about the computer in the classroom. I still believe that there hasn't been really a tech disruption in education yet, and there's a gold rush from all the private funds going into investing into tech. So first of all, we talk about education as an industry. This is very new. Especially I come from France, where we have different view of education. We would never call it an industry. And when I did my MBA, you know, we had a consulting club, a banking club for people, you know, wanting to enter those areas of work. But hey, last time I came back to the campus to do some recruitment, there was an education club. All right, so MBA students are looking into cracking that space and cracking that market. And you even have an alumni here who talked about a wonderful project of, you know, developing a tool for formative assessment to identify knowledge gaps. If you're not an educator, that probably means nothing to you, but I can tell you it's very exciting what it's doing. So we're talking about an industry, you know, like the spending of education worldwide, we say is going to be $10 trillion in 2030. And the investments in education technology will be $400 billion by 2025. So that means something is going to happen because there's a lot of people going in there. I will give it to you. There is a bubble, you know, and some unicorns are valued at more than $1 billion. I mean, there's a company from India who's valued at $10 billion on that list. It's the most capitalized, most evaluated company in education in the world. So there is definitely a bubble. And we have no idea here. We have very little clue about what's going on because look, if you look at the 4 first companies, it's all India and China. And of course, because they have such a huge number of students that if you find something that serves the entire market, it's huge. Okay, so that's why they have such high valuation, 10 billion, 7 billion. So by the way, I encourage you, if you're interested in education, you can go to this site called Holon IQ. It's great. It's you get a lot of information about what's going on in the world of education. And so, you know, yes, there's a bubble, but there's no way that this is not going to bring some transformation. And people, you know, are investing heavily because they are hoping to get the rewards in the future, just the same way that is happening with other tech companies. So now, education actually has a lot of internal conflicts, okay? So first you have many different stakeholders and it's not, you know, parents don't have the same needs as students, as educators, as employers, and as politicians as well. You know, education is highly political because governments make curriculum of you know, primary school and secondary schools. And also it's not just that they want to make the curriculum and feel important, it's also the spending that they have to put into public education is so high. So education is highly political, and this has kind of stood in the way a little bit of the development of education, and that's why, you know, all the investments that you see today are on more, you know, small little platforms, smaller projects, like your alumni Philip is doing. So because they have the space to innovate without being bogged down by other forces. And then also, you know, the purpose of education, is it to prepare you for the workplace, or is it to make you a well-rounded individual, okay? And finally, education has another conflict is it preparing for the future, or is it preserving the values of a society and making sure that everybody goes through the same experience and becomes a good citizen? So there's a lot of questions, and that's why also it's very complex. Disruption education is very complex. So you have to think, why am I going to school? Well, first of all, you're going to school to learn things, okay? But if you're just going to school to learn things, I mean, do you need to go to school, you know? Another reason why you go to school is that you ground yourself in society. And it's wonderful to, you know, to have all of you on this call, and you're hearing from your classmates, and it brings back memories of, you know, you being in that environment. And this is a picture from Animal Farm. So it's an old movie, but, you know, it's the quintessential campus experience. It's also about socializing and partying, and, you know, it's not just about learning. So if we think about, okay, so shall everything do online? I don't know. Like this year, people missed missing other people. Like, and we talk about Zoom fatigue. So do we, you know, it's not gonna move online completely. Another reason why you go to school is you want to get recognition and certification as well. So you want to go through an institution and not just read from books. Because if it's just having the knowledge, you could read from books and then learn. But no, you want to have somebody that validates what you learn and certifies what you learn. And that's why, you know, the new professional certificates from Google are also very interesting, because they answer to that needs without necessarily going to school. And then you go for prestige. Okay, there are, you know, university rankings, or you go for the international and experience, or I mean, just hearing everything that's going on at Jacobs University, it's so much. It really feels like there's a strong community, and you innovate a lot, and you come out and Vicky, you said, you know, how did I now make it to Jacobs University, having done you know, lived in France and the UK and the US and now Switzerland. And I love places where when you ask people from that community, where are you from? The first answer is, it's complicated. And it sounds like this was the case for you guys. It's complicated where I'm from. And you know, and this is great. And this is why you choose that. But I would say, you know, well, today, if MIT is a very prestigious university of engineering in the US, anybody can go to MIT. They just have to take a course on edX, and they follow online courses from Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Does this replace the campus experience? No, because, you know, you also want to be, this is actually an actual picture from their website about the student experience. You want to be part of that community where you just do stupid things and you try things out and learn engineering that way, where you actually build stuff, okay? So it's you know, I really believe that one shouldn't completely have 100% faith that everything's going to be online or everything's going to be virtual, or because these social experiences are very important. Now, does this mean that there are space for also virtual social experiences? This is what I'm talking about. So many questions. And that's the reason why it's not simple to talk about how education is going to be disrupted, or because it's an extremely complex field. And I will show you the comparison with what we've seen with transportation in the past decades. Okay, so sorry. So I believe that, okay, if somebody comes up with the following technology, which means you have a machine, you just put it on your head, and then all of a sudden, you know, whatever data they're trying to transmit you. So maybe this will. Ta-da! So he's got all, he's got all the knowledge in his head. And then look, so he's learned Kung Fu just by sitting down. Okay, and now he had a machine, put the knowledge in his head, and now he can do Kung Fu. Is this going to happen? I mean, there's a lot of research in bioscience and biotech. I don't believe it's coming anytime soon, okay? But this would be the craziest innovation that we would have in education. So what I believe, what is my take on what I think the future of education is going to be? So it's 3 ideas, and I'm going to develop them. The first one is, I believe that, you know, knowledge and education, so not just knowledge, but also, you know, the social experience of education can be distributed in a modular way. And in order to do that, you will need hybrid communities, and then eventually technology will also provide what we call augmented learning, meaning that all these technologies that I mentioned earlier, artificial intelligence, VR, AR, Internet of Things, this will improve how students are learning and how teachers are teaching. And you have one alumni who's working on that. So what do I mean by that? So first of all, I believe that, you know, the concept of a modular distribution, it's not new. If you live in Europe, you have the concept of the Erasmus program, where you would be in a university, but you have this Erasmus network, and you'd still be allowed to spend a semester in another university. So you can, you know, pick and choose in a way, and you get credits for that, and it starts building towards a degree, okay? So I believe that this is going to get more and more important, and maybe you will learn, you know, one topic with a professor from Jacobs University, another topic if you want to do a creative elective in my alma mater of Emerson College. So that's the first thing. There will be a modular way to receive education. And, you know, there's a lot of peripheral services in education. And I'm thinking about, for example, exam services. Like, so I mentioned I'm taking an online course of engineering. How are they going to assess you know, my progress? Well, they have outsourced the exam service to another place in Zurich, where they will do they will proctor the exam. So, you know, so there's a lot of different services, and you will have company that will specialize in just providing, you know, proctoring exams and things like that. But it's great to be modular, but it will have to build towards a certification, and more than just, you know, you saw on LinkedIn over the pandemic, everybody was posting all the certificates that they were getting from Udemy and things like that. Okay, that's nice, but they will have to find a way through partnerships to this certification, you know, transform to credit that adds up towards a certification that you can use with an employer. But what I mean is that probably if, you know, and that doesn't mean that everybody needs to get into it. Okay, there will still be a market that can finance the 3 or 4 years residential experience, but you know, some schools have decided to go after other markets, like you know, the market I was myself, like I was mentioning before, and so there will be more flexibility. And finally, it will have to be ongoing, because, you know, you learn something today at school, but you'll have to re-upskill later. And, you know, even though I've been dealing with education for 12 years at EF, and I have worked with technology, now I feel the need that I actually need to upskill myself and go into engineering, because otherwise I'm going to, you know, it's going to be harder for me to compete if I'm really passionate about this space. So it will be ongoing. And that's why, you know, this flexibility with other partner university is cool. And, you know, so this is, I tried to find like a really green picture from Jacobs University. I hope this is correct. Like it's really from your campus. And that's one, you know, so that's one way to do it. And then the other complete opposite is, I found this company a few days ago called Quantic, and it is an accredited company. So, and they do a master's in business on mobile. So it's crazy. You just do all your learning on a smartphone. And so there will be a lot of different ways to, you know, to go about that. So then the communities will need to be important. Okay. And today, nobody has really hacked the concept of the virtual community. If you go to online courses, all you get really is forums, and that's not super engaging. But in the future, you know, technologies of VR, you'll have students who have no other choice but to do online education, who will be able to hang out virtually with VR, and it will be, you know, much better experience than what it is today. But it's already happening, the concept of virtual communities, or even not so virtual. And I'm going to show you some examples. There is, so I'm thinking particularly, about a community called IESEC, which is about, you know, it's an international community of finding internships. And we love students who have been members of IESEC association at EF, because we recognize them in their values. And so there, it's funny because we don't recognize necessarily, like, you know, where did they get their degree from, but we're like, oh, they were part of IESEC, so this is good. But there's also, you know, an event called Freshers Festival in the UK, which just happened because they had to, because of the pandemic. And it's the largest virtual live student event. And it was for all students. So, and these, you know, these communities are detached from the service of education. Another thing is, you know, for example, if I have a concept that's difficult to read in my engineering course, for example, I don't understand the Wheatstone bridge in my electricity class. I can just go on YouTube and I get additional, services. And then on YouTube, you find channels and you build communities there as well. Okay, so it doesn't have to be, I really believe that not all communities will be orchestrated by university in the future, and it could be detached. Okay, I have to really accelerate because I'm taking too much time. And the last thing that I wanted to say is that, yes, technology, I mean, there will be some successful companies who have really nailed down the science and the tech of how students learn. And it hasn't been completely nailed out yet. But there is some research that says, like, first of all, if you do a class that's active, you learn more. And it seems like this is what you are doing at Jacobs. But also if you find, the fun in it. And that's why I believe these two words of personalization and gamification, they're not just buzzwords. I really believe they are the future of education. When your alumni talks about identifying knowledge gaps in students, that's personalization, because we see, hey, that student doesn't know that, so the system needs to feed activities to the students. And you see, I mean, Course Hero, that's one of the unicorns of EdTech, valued more than $1 billion. It's like a study resources community. It's crazy, like, but what they are doing is that they are analyzing all of these study resources with artificial intelligence. And, in the future, they will be able to really nail down what they should give to their users and for them to perform better at university. Another example of gamification is Duolingo. And me, personally, I'm not a big fan of what I'm showing you. First, because I work at TF, but more importantly, gamification was a buzzword, and then everybody was like, hey, we need to have leaderboards and little star and points. And this is not how people, really play. Everybody has different ways to play. Maybe you like chess, or maybe, you grew up in the 80s like me and you like Super Mario Brothers when you squeeze mushrooms and throw turtles. And that's what I like to play. So this type of gamification doesn't do anything for me. But if you listen to polyglots, and this is a great talk from this, so she's a polyglot, speaks 7, 8 languages, and for her the secret is just to make it fun. But they didn't do it with like a leaderboard or points. They just found a way, and they were they found it for themselves. And I believe artificial intelligence will help people find their ways of how do you make it fun, how you gamify it. So, I'm about to finish. So, disruption in transportation, it's a very simple problem. You go from A to B, the service is very simple. And then Uber came in and said, well, you just use GPS so people can localize you. You can localize cars around you, and boom, it changes it. But education, you have many different fields. The process of education is you make choices on curriculum, you deliver the expertise, and that means you create the content and you deliver the content. As a student, you memorize, you train, you practice. You have community services in physical and virtual communities, and you have services of examination and services of accreditation. So that's why there's not going to be, one company that's going to disrupt the whole of education, because all of these parts, have a potential to be disrupted. And if you look at this website, Holon IQ, this is what they talk about, the global learning landscape. I mean, it's so complex. There are so many companies in all of these different spaces trying to innovate there and doing something new. And what I want to say, is that disruption in education is actually happening already. It's just that we don't feel it because it goes through all these different parts. But, somebody like Philip is working on formative assessment and identify gaps. And maybe him or somebody else is going to crack that, and that's going to be a component. And what's going to happen is that in the future, we're going to wake up one day and education will be disrupted, and we don't know how it happened. And that's why it's very important for education companies and entities to find, they don't need to innovate in all of this, but they need to innovate in some parts so they're not completely left behind. Thank you so much. You've been a great audience to talk to, and I'm really happy to take questions or anything.
Thank you so much, Ben. Again, emphatic, guys, not little. This is not golf. We're just on mute, so big arms, big arms. Just really quick, we are running a bit behind on time. Perhaps we can take one quick question if anybody has one, whatever comes up first. And perhaps, Ben, you might be able to share some contact info if you have it, in case somebody, as you know, we're very active people in the world of startups and education and so many things.
Yeah, I'm going to leave my personal email address in the chat.
Wonderful.
And, anybody's welcome to email me, ask me questions, and I'll happily take them.
Sounds good. I'm just going to take a quick look there. Now, sir, I'm just curious, how do you balance a comedy side along with being Mr. Education?
I don't. I'm going to. I'm slowly heading towards a complete meltdown, which I think should match. It would be good if it happened during my midlife crisis, because then, you know, like then it really makes sense. But that's the way I like it.
I mean, you know, from one, I wouldn't say wannabe comedian. I think my life's a bit of a hilarious moment from time to time. And any artist and writer, you know, they all have troubled lives, and that leads for a lot of sharing and creative ideas. But that being said, I'm taking a look at the chat really quick. I've not seen anything pop up. But again, guys, if you check, Ben has put his contact there. So if you have any questions, make sure to write that down for future. And you've also gotten a message from Liz Zeller saying, thank you so much, Ben. Lots of food for thought. So
thank you,
there
everyone.
you go on that. And again, thank you so much, Ben, for sharing. And I hope you can stick around and watch the rest of this amazingness.
Absolutely.
And I for sure will be reaching out to you because I've got ideas and stuff. So there we go. So again, a big emphatic round of applause. You can also get creative with it because you are listening. So you could just like do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So continuing on with this wonderful homecoming event, let's see where we are, friends. I now am going to introduce you to our music performance. Before I do, this is our second one. After this performance, it will be a closing of our donation/art auction. So make sure to go online. Again, our technical team will put the link once more in the chat for you guys so you can get in there. Make sure to put in your donation. If you would like to hopefully win one of these pieces of art, make sure to put in the number when you go ahead to put in your donation. So that will be closing the part for the art after this musical performance. So once again, be sure to donate before that. So our next performance will be from the one and only Pablo Ochoa. Pablo, he is going to be performing Rise and Fall. Now, he and we overlapped in our time in Jacobs. We had some great, like, cool blues sessions at the other side from time to time. Good stuff. So he has just released, and by just, I mean on September 4th, he released his debut album called Guatemala. There you go. And he has 10 songs, 5 in English, 5 in Spanish. He himself, because he's quite talented young man, has produced and written all of these songs. And he did that while he was in Guatemala. That's your home country, right? Right, Pablo? Okay, cool. Yes. There we are. I'm not messing that one up. Boom. So it's a multi-genre album. He has pop, jazz, blues. We already know that he's real good at that. Electronic, country, spoken word, and Latin. So you know there will be something great for everybody. But without further ado, emphatic showing of awesomeness with arms or faces for Pablo Ochoa. Woo!
Hi guys, how's it going? Can you hear me okay? Can you give me like a thumbs up? Perfect. All right. So yeah, greetings from Berlin. This is a song called Rise and Fall. It's this track number 10, the last track of my debut album, which came out on September 4th. So please make sure to like check it out on Spotify or iTunes, Apple Music, or you can download it like on Amazon. Yeah. This song is called Rise and Fall. Yeah.
Heroes and villains rise and fall, empires and kingdoms rise and fall. Athletes and politicians rise and fall, eras and generations rise and fall. Is it me or in history? The same thing keeps on happening. Maybe nothing lasts eternally. Rise and fall. Does everything just come and go? Large or small, is nothing meant to last after all. The planets and the stars rise and fall. The days and the nights rise and fall. Seasons and decades rise and fall. Eons and ages rise and fall. Is it me or in history? The same thing keeps on happening. Maybe nothing lasts eternally. Rise and fall. Does everything just come and go? Large or small, is nothing meant to last after all. So is this why she had to leave? Or was it just not meant to be? Does love just come and go away? Or does it one day stay? So do friends and lovers rise and fall, and do love and tenderness rise and fall. Thank you. Yes.
There we go. Unmute. Pablo, that was so good. It
Thank
was
you.
so good. Honestly, what all of these performances are making me do is want to become a roadie for you guys. So if you need somebody to just move equipment, I'm there. Let me know.
Yeah. My next tour.
Wonderful. No, that was amazing.
you.
Again, guys, big emphatic arms, round of applause. Work it out for Pablo and all the great things that he's produced. So again, you can find him on Spotify. We put a few links there. He's on Spotify and Apple Music, but we put a couple so you can at least see the cover art and have the name so you can search for it wherever you would prefer to find it. That way you have it there. Again, thank you so much for doing this for us, Pablo.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
Because I'm in the thank you mood, I mean, I also wanted to go ahead and do kind of a thank you for sort of VIPs or VIPs or people that have been important to us in different ways that have been able to join us. So just wanted to give a shout out to Professor Joachim Treusch, who was our former president some years back. He was around in my time, remember that much. Harold Emmig-Holtz and Frau Ingrid Bischoff. Again, I apologize to anybody whose name I've messed up. I do not do it on purpose. I'm trying my best. Frau Ann Valtink, hey girl, and Professor Jim Cooney. So these are all wonderful people, and they were able to join us, and they've all done amazing things. So thank you again for joining us and for being part of this. I also wanted to go ahead, again, reminder to everybody, tomorrow will be the General Assembly. Please, if you have time, join in, because that's a way to know what's going on and what is happening. So that would be amazing. You have a few minutes left to put in final, really fast bids on art bits, and also to donate. So as I speak, just like hit the money button, boom, boom. So, or whatever the button says. There you go. Coming up next, I would like to move it on to, again, our beautiful Albena, because she is going to share with us perhaps a few things about campus, perhaps some other things. So I'd like to give a shout out to Albena. And this is me drawing it out a few more seconds so you can hit that button and maybe win a piece of art. And big hands for Albena. Here we go.
Hi, it's me again. Yeah, I just have another update from campus for you guys, and this time it's coming from the beloved college master of C3, Rob. So here is what Rob has to share. One second, sorry.
Hi everyone. I was asked to make a little contribution to the virtual homecoming event, and I thought, as I don't get the chance to meet you all in person this year, then I would give you a little update on what's going on in the college and around the campus. So let's start by taking a quick walk around the college, and I can show you some of the things which have changed a little and get you a feeling for how things are in C3 right now. One of the first things you might notice that is a little bit different is the students in the team have now tried to make the QSA quite study friendly, with lots of hints and tips and things to help you with your exams, and just to create a feeling of a good environment to study. So now we're in the QSA, and this is the place where a lot of you guys will have hung out or had your social night, so it probably brings back quite a lot of memories. As you can see, you can still kind of play pool. We got some new hammocks that you can now hang out on and relax on. And we have a new table tennis table and the old kicker and an empty table just for the guys to hang out on. And there's a little tribute to Camus, and something the class of 2013 will probably appreciate and smile about is the chant that Camus came up with way back when. As it says, welcome to C3. And this is a place where you'll spend a lot of time every mealtime enjoying the either old Aramark food or the appetito offerings that we can get now. We actually moved the Student of the Year sign down to the servery so that everybody could see it all the time. So you might notice yourself or your friends on there, and that might bring back a nice memory or two of your time here as well. If you look around, you can see that things are a little bit different nowadays because of the pandemic, and students are asked to keep a big distance and eat in a maximum of 2 people per table. Now we'll leave the college and go and check out the club fair. We'll go to the SEC and you can see how the club fair has changed from the times that you were here to this year's club fair, which also includes our masks. Follow me. Here we are at the club fair. As you can see, it's become very high-tech this year, and if we have a quick walk around, you can see some of the clubs that are all taking part. Some of the alumni will remember the X-Block Bremen Club, which they actually founded. Here we have Rotaract Club, which many of you were also involved in. Also things like the Environmental Club and the Refugee Support Club. Say hi, guys. Some of you guys don't even know me as an RM, and you only know me as a football coach from one of the guys or the girls teams. So I thought I'd show you what's going on right now. As you can see, we have beautiful Bremen weather and lots of guys at practice who are all working hard. I hope that brings back some nice memories for some of you. Keep counting there, keep counting! Okay, here I am in the apartment. As you can see, if you look behind me, then I have a great view to wake up to every morning, and that's one of the things that keeps me going here. You might also see in the background a little green guy called George. He's one of the many gifts that I get from former students, and he was given to us during the summer, and we're still trying to find his place in the college and his function, because with the whole pandemic going on, it's been difficult for us to get out, but we're definitely looking to find him a new home and a function in the college. I hope you're all well. Pretty much everyone who's come through the doors here has left some kind of mark on me and my time here. You can be sure that I'm checking out on you and stalking you on social media to see what's going on in your lives and sharing your successes and all the good stuff that's going on. And you know, do feel free to reach out and get in touch with me if ever you want to, or if you're around, then make sure to come by. This is pretty much the end of my little video. I hope you enjoyed a walk around the college and a little trip down memory lane for some of you. I really hope that you can enjoy your first virtual homecoming. It's a little bit different than we're all used to, but I guess it's one thing we're going to have to get used to. I think I'm going to leave it here and I'll say goodbye, and then hopefully we can see each other in person next year. Goodbye.
Fantastic. I hope that made everybody feel like, oh my gosh, amazing. I know, I loved it. It's great to see how things are going. Also, if you know Rob, it's amazing to see how Rob has grown up. Oh, no, just kidding. He's a good guy, and big thank you to Rob for doing this for us as well. I wanted to go ahead and right now, real quick, I'm going to hand it over to Nouria, who's going to go ahead and share what's going on with the auction. Also, everybody, real quick, because when she's done, we're going to be doing our virtual alumni photograph. So, like, put your hair back, do a quick, like, put that filter on. So that way we go through and do a quick, like, group photo. Okay? So this is the one time I really highly ask, turn on your camera. So here you go, Nouria. Off to you, darling.
All right, thank you. So I will just share my screen real quick to give an overview. And that didn't work. All right, So over all of our different platforms, Spend Now, PayPal, UFA, together during just the Zoom call, we've almost made 4,000 euros that we've raised. And the artworks went for good amounts. Oh, I'm missing the euro sign after 1,000. So thank you very much. We know who bid for which artwork. We will contact you after the event. And thank you so much for helping us raise the funds for the next round of scholarships. And that's it from me for now.
Thank you, beautiful. So as you know, you will be contacted if you want artwork. If you have any questions, you can also reach out and find out. That being said, you can still donate throughout the year. There will be links available on the website and on different social media. So keep in mind different texts, or just generally write to the university and be like, hey, I want to give you money, because that is the fastest answer you will get from any place, not just our university, just anywhere. Like, you write to me and say, hey, I want to give you money, I'll be like, yes, especially if it's no strings attached. Like, there you go. So quick update too. If you happen to save up to 750 euros, you too can get a brick with your name on it for the alumni path. So if you just happen to need an object to like go in place, that might be something for you. There you go. Now, friends, I just want to say really quick, because this is going to be our, let's do our photo real quick, and then I'll do all the cry, ha, ha, ha stuff. So is everybody ready? Does everybody have their faces beautiful? This is how this is going to work. I want you to keep your face nice, you tidied up, right? You have your best headphones on, and just be in the shot, and you're going to just smile like you're in a wax museum and you're the wax actual object, right? And then if you're not looking perfect, that's okay, because nobody's perfect, and that's life. So it'll be a natural, candid. So you're just gonna smile, smile. Who is our main photo taker? I forgot. We had this planned. It's planned. I just don't remember. Main photo taker. Okay, perfect. Toka. Toka's our main photo taker. So here's what's gonna happen. Toka, if you can unmute yourself, what we're going to do, we're going to look our bestest. There are a few pages that we have to go through in group mode to get these. So we're just going to smile, because I don't know if we all show up on the same page on everybody's computer. So you just smile and look pretty for each time. Toka's going to tell us when we smile. She's going to do next page, okay? Toka, this is all you, girl.
Thank you. So let's take the first shot. 1. And it's lovely to see your faces, because I tried to take it actually a bit earlier. Okay. And now number 2, we're going to take 3 shots basically. Wow, you guys look awesome. And now number 3. And that's it. Awesome. Thank you.
Yay, good job, everybody. Oh my gosh, we could all be street performers. We are really good at that. Thank you, Toka, for doing that photo. So I would like to say thank you to everybody who has joined us, no matter how long you've been here, from beginning to end or a little bit into it. And I really appreciate you all. We all love each other. I feel like it's a mutual feeling. This is going to be kind of me signing out. This is where I get sad and sappy, and if I cry, don't judge. I am very happy to be part of the class of 2011, to be part of Jacobs, because I'll tell you what, since I left, every experience I've had has definitely been changed by what I've experienced at Jacobs. Even though the school I'm at now says they're international, that's not true. This is the most international place I've been at. And it has honestly changed a lot of how I view the world. And I think has made me a better person to be able to really understand from somebody else's point of view what they may be going through. Now, big thing for me, I've always loved going on campus, because no matter what, anything you decide to do, I never have a memory of anybody telling me that I couldn't do it. It was always like, yeah, that's great. And then you might talk it out and make it happen. So I think that's something that we've all kept with. And since then I have encountered places like, but can you? So I really do believe that Jacobs is a place that helps make us be people that just believe in ourselves and continue believing in ourselves, and that we can truly do anything no matter what our degree says, because in the end, that's just a piece of paper, and that we're able to jump into anything, whether it's what we studied or not, and we can go for it no matter what. So I hope you guys keep that spirit going. I hope that the new class really helps with all of that. I did put my contact information because doing all of this has made it hard for me to be in touch with everyone. How exciting it's been to see all of your faces. So please reach out. Even if you don't know me, reach out. I'm more than happy to make more friends. But this has been wonderful. Again, you all should feel proud about yourselves. I'm happy that we all were able to do this. And just thank you for being amazing people. And I'm very happy that I get to say that we all shared a similar experience, and that I know all you beautiful, wonderful souls. There you go. So that's me. I managed to hold in the tears, though my face has turned 10 shades redder than before. And that's just emotion, because I love you all. And a hint of gin, because why not? So with that being said, I would like to hand it over for our final performance to Pablo. Pablo Ochoa is again going to perform for us. He's going to be closing out. Just as a reminder, you guys can find music from Owen. I put the link in before. I will repost that if you want to find Owen's music and Pablo's music as well. They both have albums, and please support them. It's a wonderful thing. And I hope that you are all amazing. Please keep an eye out. I'm sure we will be contacting you soon about our music. I believe we're doing some sort of, Alex, not if we're doing some DJing music. Yes, we are. So if you, no, we're not. Just kidding. Just kidding. It's going to be music. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. Wonderful. Just play music and enjoy life and be amazing people and contact each other. So that being said, Pablo, save me. Here you go. Be
All right.
amazing.
So I don't know what to play right now, but I'm gonna play another original song. This is not in the album, but it's a very fun song to play. It's called Earthrise. Let me just check if my guitar is like tuned. All right, so Earthrise. All I wanna do is to travel to the moon, float in outer space. I just want to get away. I plunge into the dark, don't know if I'll come back. I leave the atmosphere, my life behind me. High speed on the rocket, I reach the lunar orbit. It's something that me breathless, just beyond the moon's surface. In the black and white, I see the earth rise. The beautiful blue and green. And suddenly I realize it's the prettiest thing I've seen. In the black and white, I see the earth rise. The picture of a century. And suddenly I realize it's where I want to be. I fly over the moon. I look down too. It's
empty, dark and gray. I don't think I want to stay. Everything in space just seems so colorless. Ironic that what I left is where I want to go next. High speed on the rocket, I leave the lunar orbit, but something kept me breathless just beyond the moon's surface. In the black and white, I see the earth rise, the beautiful blue and green, and suddenly I realize it's the prettiest thing I've seen. In the black and white, I see the earth rise, the picture of a century. And suddenly I realize it's where I want to be. In the black and white, I see the earth rise, the beautiful blue and green, and suddenly I realize it's prettiest thing I've seen. In the black and white, I see the earth rise, the picture of a century. And suddenly I realize it's where I want to be. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna close now with a cover of a song I played at Jacobs. Every time I play it, it reminds me of Jacobs. I think I played it in my third year or second year with Ali and Ruva. It's a song called African Queen. Ooh, love, you are my African queen. Just like the sun lights up the earth, you light up my life. The only one I ever seen with a smile so bright. Just yesterday, you came around my way and changed my whole scenery. With your astonishing beauty, you could have make my brother sing. Ordinary thing, you're supernatural being. And you earn me la 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 la. I forgot the lyrics too, la 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 la. And you are my African queen, the girl of my dreams. And you take me where I never been. You make my heart go ting-a-ling-a-ling. And you are my African queen, the girl of my dreams. And you remind me of a thing, and that is the African beauty. Yeah, yeah. Hold on. You are my African queen. Out of a million, you stand as one, the outstanding one. I look into your eyes, baby, what I see is paradise. You captivated my soul, and every day I want you more. can I deny this feeling that I'm feeling inside? Yeah. Nobody can take your place, nobody can take your space. It's a fact that I cannot replace. And you make me la 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 la. I forgot the lyrics once more. You are my African queen, the girl of my dreams, and you take me where I've never been. You make my heart go ting-a-ling-a-ling. Oh, now you are my African queen, the girl of my dreams. Yeah, you remind me of Earth, and that is African beauty. Yeah, yeah. You are my African queen. Oh no. My African queen. Oh no. You are my African queen. Oh no. You are my African queen. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. And bye. All right.
Thank you, Pablo. Woo! Again, guys, all the links for music are in the chat. Be sure to reach out to everybody and just continue being amazing. Until next year. Woo!